Start the recording. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming to Image Builder Office Hours. As you probably know, we are a sub-project of SIG Cluster Lifecycle, and so we abide by their rules of conduct, which pretty much boil down to let's just make this a welcoming place for everyone and try not to talk over each other. You can use the raise hand feature in Zoom if you need to, although if there's only 4 of us, it probably won't be that rowdy. At the beginning here, we like to give a minute for anyone who's here for the first time or hasn't been here in a while to introduce themselves and say hello if you want to. So I'll be quiet for a minute, and please feel free to do that.
Hello,
Right, yeah.
my name is Yongxiang Gao. I attend maybe months back. Yeah, so I got very good help here, and today I'm seeking another help.
Great. That's why we're here. Thanks for coming again.
And hi, I'm Rajesh. This is like my first image builder office hours meeting. I've tinkered around Kubernetes elsewhere and SIG testing, network, and things like that. And I'm active in CNCF tag runtime space within. I happen to encounter image builder for building images, I guess, for some of my for my day job. And yeah, that's how I'm here. And in fact, met Marcus at KubeCon, had some conversations going on around um, restructuring some aspects of it and things like that. So yeah, looking forward to this.
Awesome. Thanks for joining. Um, so as far as an actual agenda, we have just these 2 things, kind of our big issues that we haven't really dug. I don't think we actually have any updates, but I wanted to at least say so on the record. We haven't had a meeting in a little while where we were able to talk about these. So the first one is Marcus has an umbrella issue for increasing E2E test coverage. The background to that is we lost the VMware vSphere backend or E2E provider when we all moved to the community infrastructure. They supposedly have a plan and are working on donating some account so that we can start those tests up again, but they're still not there. So for the time being, and we also resurrected the GCE Google tests. So at the time, for the time being, the only things we can run in CI are Azure tests and Google tests. So that leaves pretty big gaps. Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, I can't remember if I actually mentioned this to others or not, but it's just reminded me that I spoke with Richard Case at KCD earlier this year, well, a month or so ago, and he was saying that the Cluster API AWS team have some AWS infrastructure, community infrastructure that they use for some of their stuff, and it's possible that we might also be able to make use of it for our testing of Image Builder AMI builds. So we should reach out to them and see if we can get access to that when we're in a position to do so.
That'd be great.
Mm. Specifically, reach out to the Kappa team, not AWS itself.
Right, right.
Because I know they already do automated. I don't know if it's automated, but they already do image builder builds for Kappa that they then provide to the community. So it'd
Yeah,
be
in
good
that
if we
same account.
can,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
That's a great idea. I know some people on that team. I can try and
Mm.
reach out to them. I'm trying to do even more in Cappy at this point.
Mm.
Um, cool. Except for that,
There is also a note about QEMU and RAW. Theoretically, we should be able to test those as well. They just might be very slow because we should be able to emulate those in the table at the top.
right? Yeah, no.
Oh, right, so
Yeah, I've tried to I tried half-heartedly to get that going once in a cloud VM, and I didn't quite get there. But I think you're right. We should be able to get it working, right?
Yeah, like I said, theoretically,
That would
I
be
don't know
really
what it.
great to have that
Yeah,
coverage in particular because we haven't had QMU and raw ever,
yeah,
and they have broken a few times. Um,
yeah. But there is a lot of providers there that we just don't have any community infrastructure for. We probably never will. So I think there is always going to be holes, unfortunately.
yep. But I think the goal is still worthy, or at least
Yes.
increasing our coverage because at this point, it feels pretty dangerous to merge a PR. We have to just think about it really hard and then ping
Yeah.
anyone relevant who might have a better opinion and then just hope it doesn't break things. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if we have anything else on that. That's probably it for now. Okay. And then the other big issue we've been living with for over a year is the Packer itself is we're stuck at a version of Packer that's literally a year old, a little over a year old now,
Yeah.
because we're not able to move on a 2.0 series because they changed the licensing, HashiCorp did, and the CNCF is not okay with it, and I don't think that's going to change at this point.
Yeah.
Um, People were somewhat hopeful that the license might revert to something friendlier when IBM, I guess, bought HashiCorp, but that doesn't seem like they seem like they're hands off, so we shouldn't assume. So basically, we're still stuck between a rock and a hard place where we're continuing to use Packer and hoping that no, earth-shattering CVE shows up and that we're able to continue using it, but we know it's not going to last. However, alternatives to just using Packer, there really aren't any off the shelf that cover that same ground.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple proposals. We have one currently that's very interesting about here's how we could rewrite things to get it working, to have our own open source implementation that would build images. Um, it's a big lift. It seems like a bit of a suicide mission. I don't want to really discourage the effort because I'd love to get there, but it's a lot of work, right, to cover most of the targets we have. And there are some other
Yeah.
alternatives, but yeah. Sorry, go
No,
ahead,
so I was going
Marcus.
to say I think one of the things that is detrimental to us is just the sheer scope of possibilities that Image Builder now supports in terms of providers and OSs and configurations and stuff. Like it's great to have that flexibility, but it makes it really hard to maintain the project going forwards. So I do wonder if maybe we need to look at scaling things back a bit for a V2 or whatever that's more, I guess, pluggable or something like that. So well, be able to build something known, working, supported, and then have a way for people to put stuff on top of it that is then unsupported, rather than the current approach that's just, yeah, we'll support any configuration that we can pass in through Packer and Ansible.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's something where maybe we could just somehow get it working for one provider, one use case, and then move things over bit by bit in theory. It also feels like Windows is a big sticking point because most of the things that have been
Yeah.
proposed aren't going to work well for Windows.
I,
And so one strategy, I'm just talking off the top of my head here, but one strategy might be we come up with just a Linux solution, and then Windows is forced to go its own way, which because the other way, the easy way to do it would be to use an Azure service which is unfortunately also called Image Builder, which doesn't relate to the Image Builder project directly, but it would be pretty
yeah.
straightforward to build similar images there. We'd just be translating a lot of our Ansible recipes into some PowerShell stuff, and it'd be annoying, but we could probably get it done in a couple days. But it wouldn't really be a good open source project, and we could make the scripts available, but it's still that's the only thing I've been thinking about as a fallback solution because we could see maybe SysExt or maybe this other proposal that's out there now could actually cover all the Linuxes we care about, and that's really probably 95% of the target. And then Windows could have a different solution, I suppose.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that idea.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even now we have things that's like Windows specific throughout the code base, right?
Mhm.
I think it's going to
Yeah.
be unlikely to find something that will perfectly fit everything.
So I guess the current state of this is we're just waiting and hoping nothing terrible happens, and then we have this uh, proposal over here that I still need to comment on now that I've thought about it a little bit. But maybe this bears fruit, or maybe we get a prototype out of this, and that would be wonderful.
Yeah. I mean,
But
Reg, I don't know if you want to add anything about it while we're here.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're pretty much covered. So my thoughts around this as well, and I'm kind of aligning towards a prototype wherein um so BuildKit has this merge functionality, right, where you can merge layers of OCI images, and that's kind of the crux of this, wherein you build an OCI layer for the file system of a particular OS, and then you build an OCI layer from scratch for Kubernetes, and then kind of merge them together. Um, Barring in like configurations for like kernel flags and things like that. And Windows, while we can just build like a Windows file system layer, I mean, from an OCI perspective, that kind of sort of seems extensible for Windows as well. But then again, I want to prototype it, try something out like for say Ubuntu Flatcar, things like that, and then uh, yeah, go
Yeah.
go from that perspective. So the idea is probably to start like a proposal doc, to put all of these things around from this issue, and then we can work collaboratively on that, and then whip out some code from that. That's the idea. I'm just trying to find some time and then get things going.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, so I was saying to Matt before you joined, we were having a quick discussion about this. I think the only bit that I'm really concerned about is how the kernel layer works with this, because I know that's where OCI images, they don't have the kernel built in, and how do we correctly deal with that across the providers, etc. Um, but let's see. And as I said in the issue, like, I'm not against this not being a solution for Windows if it has to come to that. As Matt said, we could look at other alternatives that are Windows specific. I think there is enough difference between Linux and Windows to justify a different approach if it comes to that. So let's, as you say, let's focus on Flatcar and Ubuntu for the POC, because that is majority of what our users use. If that works, we're a huge step forward in terms of you know going ahead with this kind of approach. So
yeah, go ahead, Rajas.
I was just acknowledging what Marcus said. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think if we were to get to that point, I don't think not having Windows support would be a deal breaker at all. I think
Yeah.
I would love to see the POC, and also I think if you can get it working for a couple use cases like that, we would probably not have a hard time getting more volunteer help and more reviewing and taking it
Yeah.
further. Because I know there's a lot of people really waiting for something that some light at the end of the tunnel would be wonderful.
I also think there'd be more people willing to review code rather than Packer and Ansible JSON files and stuff. So
Yes,
yeah.
so sick of YAML.
Mm.
Can't get away from YAML in our world, but still.
Yeah. Cool. I'm happy with that.
Right on. Great. Anything else we want to say about the licensing / image builder replacement stuff?
Um, no, I don't think so.
Okay. Uh, that's all we had on the agenda, but Yongcheng, you said you had a question or two?
Oh, yeah. The first question is I tried to uh okay um so I need to add the hardening for Ubuntu 22.04. So I'm able to find the hardening from the internet for Ubuntu 20.04. But for Ubuntu 22, it's not easy to find. So I try to use USG there, but I get trouble when I try to build a EKSA cluster with that OS image generated. So I posted the question in the Slack channel. I can repost it here if we let me see. So yeah, okay. So this one is major one. I'm trying. I'm facing. Oh, there's a room. So oh yeah, this one chat. Let me post
Is this
this.
your
I
question
think
here?
it's
Sorry, I'm just
yeah.
catching up.
I think it's above that. Two above that. There you go.
Oh, here we are.
Oh yeah. It's this one. So look like we need to skip something, and I searched in. Look like we have some mechanism to do the Taylor rule or something. I don't know. So I just wonder what's the nature of this issue and how how should we address it?
So this is a kubelet logs error, I guess. Kubelet's trying to start up and it says it can't find its config file.
Oh, this one is the knock sysnock I get from the EKC bare metal node. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm able to get the OS image. And when I try to use the OS image to build EKC cluster on bare metal, it the node can boot okay, but Kubernetes is not running. So when I dig into the sysnock there, it show the empty the Kubernetes config. It's not there actually.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's saying.
So what changes have you made this the to do the hardening? Because
Okay.
obviously that something has then caused that file not to be created, I guess.
Yeah.
What I add there is use USG to run hardening. Let me find it.
So I'm not that familiar with Ubuntu these days.
Huh.
Is USG a tool? Is it a
Yeah.
CLI?
Yeah.
Right. So that
Okay.
obviously performs some actions then.
Yeah. USG stands for
Ubuntu Security Guide.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Okay. So fix and CIS level 1 server is some standard recipe or
Anyway, it's very simple. Yeah, you can click into it. You'll see.
I'm not going to start Googling for stuff. I'll get in
Okay.
trouble. I'm
Yeah.
sharing my screen.
Anyway, anyway, the steps I added there just install the USG and run it to fix the violations. And another thing is that after I create the EKC cluster with normal OS without the USG hardening, and then I run USG command there in each node, that one works fine. I don't see any issue.
So that implies that some change that fix makes prevents the packet, the Ansible changes working, I guess, or something at boot.
Or maybe, yeah, it's
I'm
preventing
literally
something.
guessing.
Feels like it's preventing something at boot or runtime from happening that populates. Do we do config.yaml at runtime? We don't though. Do we? Or is the CNI no? Yeah, why would it work if the node is already running? The files are, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's hard to see how the hardening prevents that file from being written, but
Okay.
it seems like that's what happens.
The
I'm also
reason
struggling to find out details about what that change, that sys level 1 server actually does.
the reason for me to try to add the hardening in the image builder is that uh, for the USG, so the free one, we can only handle 5 nodes, 5 machines. So I try to avoid this. So if we can make harden in image builder, then we just use the image, right? So we can apply to as many machines.
The USG is a service you have to subscribe to or something?
Right.
There's a
It's Ubuntu One. So need a Ubuntu One the account.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
So how would we use that within image builder then? Surely we'd need an Ubuntu One subscription.
oh, so with the Ubuntu One subscription, I can get a token. So USG can use the token.
But does that mean that everybody would then need to get their own token when running image builder?
Yeah. So if we need to use actually there are 2 ways to use USG. One is with token, another one is with uh, uh, online login something. So either way, if we don't offer a token, you will get some URL ask you to verify and log in. Yeah. So anyway, so I tried the token approach with both image builder and the EKC node with normal OS image. And, and both of them looks okay. At least from image builder, I can get the OS image. But that one just missing something look like.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, which provider is this on? This is AWS, isn't it?
What's the provider of USG?
Are you running this on AWS? Yeah.
Actually, I didn't pay attention to that one. USG. USG is
No, I mean you're the you are you building AMIs? I guess so if it's EKS anywhere, right?
yeah. You can say anywhere, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to find relevant things about this this USG profile, and I found an issue here about it breaking DNS in some cases because one of the things that it does do is change NFT tables. Sorry, NF tables.
NF table.
So it's possible that the boot logic in the node that goes and fetches the init data from AWS secret store or wherever it is, I think. Is that what we do? That could be what's failing, perhaps. But without knowing exactly what the changes are that this fix does, it's hard to say why it's breaking.
I'm not quite sure about whether it's related to AWS.
I mean, you could try the same changes on a different provider if you want to see if it's specific to AWS, but I don't know if that would.
Hold on.
Roughly.
When you say
Yeah.
provider, you mean EKC provider?
I mean, you could build an Azure Ubuntu 2204 image or a GKE Ubuntu 2204 image.
Oh, actually, sorry. It's my fault. So the provider is bare metal.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay.
Sorry about that.
I mean, shouldn't make a difference, but sometimes does. Ideally, the recipes are the same, but I really don't know.
Yeah.
All I can suggest is do you have the Taylor XML file? for the USG.
I I I
So
let me see. Taylor.
if you run, I've just put it in the chat here. If you
Hmm.
run that command, apparently it can generate an XML file for you with all of the rules that it's going to apply.
Hmm.
All I can suggest is have a look through those and see if any of them look like they may be changing the file permissions of the directory or anything like that. You know, maybe making the var-lib directory read-only, or I don't know.
I okay. Let me recall. So I think I tried to play with the Taylor config file, and I I simply don't get the clue. It look like from the content of the file, it's not that straightforward to about the Kubernetes or the CNN, those kind of specific things. So
I don't know that without knowing what changes that tool does.
Hmm.
I don't know how to suggest a fix.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing obvious
Hmm.
to me.
Okay, I see. Anyway, I will spend some more time to see if I can resolve it before next meeting.
I mean, you could also
Okay.
open a GitHub issue and maybe someone would comment there.
It
Although hopefully
it
people see it
also
in Slack, but we didn't until now.
I gotta say, it also might be worth opening one on the Ubuntu forums and
Hmm.
seeing if anybody on there knows what might be causing it, because
Hmm.
they're going to be much more knowledgeable about this
Yeah,
than we are,
good idea. Yeah.
and they're pretty active on there, so you'll probably get a response relatively quick.
If you have time, I have another question.
Sure.
Sure.
So, we set up the Kubernetes uh, on the EKSA cluster for bare metal. Everything works fine there. Uh, is there anything like that on the vSphere cluster? EKSA
Bluebird and
vSphere.
vSphere.
We don't manage EKS anywhere.
Okay. Oh.
That's
Yeah.
So that
that's a separate project.
okay. I see. I see.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we get
Okay.
asked about it a lot though.
Okay. I see.
Mhm.
Um, okay, well, do we have any other questions or anything else we want to talk about?
Only other thing for me to mention is I'm probably going to put out a new release tomorrow.
Yeah,
There's been a few
thank you.
changes and a few PRs went in today, so I'm going to try and get that done in the morning my time,
Hmm.
or kick it off this in the morning my time at least.
Great.
Okay. So that one is about the vSphere. Bare metal is fine. We are playing bare metal with happy story. vSphere because I don't and it's a complaint about the KVM is not there.
Um, okay,
Hmm.
I still don't really know, but
I see.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um, the vSphere people are relatively active though. I mean, if you maybe want to ask on GitHub, you have a good chance of getting Christian or
Yeah.
one of those guys to respond to just mentioning their name in an issue. They're pretty good about that.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. All right, unless we have anything else,
Hmm. Okay. Thank you.
call it a day. And are we gonna? And we will meet here in a couple weeks, or at least we'll have it on the calendar. But I think Marcus, you're gonna probably be gone.
Hmm.
So
I am going to be in holiday mode after this.
Right on. Well, I'll be here and probably Drew will be here. We'll see if we can meet in 2 weeks. Otherwise, see you next time.
I see you.
Hey.
Bye.
Uh,